This to my brothers out here, young, older, grown, whatever. You need to stop laying down with these 304s and not expecting consequences. You guys don't understand the amount of people I've seen to where they living a rough life, they struggling, they living a stressed out life, they finances in shambles because they decided to sleep with a 304 or a woman that they know and knew in their minds that they would not wife up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of my channel, Broader Perspective. And on behalf of how this here gentleman said, a lot of guys may happen to get with women with 304s who they know they will not wife up. Well, on behalf of the very first clip that I showed right before this here video, that's not always true in some cases, because some guys are usually naive and dumb enough to still wife up these type of women. Let that be a perfect case in point. And for you guys who may have wiped up these type of women and may have ended up, that is, having all kinds of problems with these types of women prior to marrying them. As a matter of fact, don't be surprised if you may have happened to be in marriage counseling, both you and the same wife who you ended up having all these issues with due to her being a 304, aka a loose woman, aka a promiscuous woman. Don't be surprised also if prior to marrying her, the day before, during a bachelorette party, that she may have happened to use her oral skills quite a bit during that bachelorette party, if you catch my drift. But back to the real though.
Finances in shambles because they decided to sleep with a 304 or a woman that they know and knew in their minds that they would not wife up. Many of our brothers, and this is including me in my past, had a lack of sexual self-control, which led to a lot of bad decision making and a lot of bad consequences. First of all, it's just trifling when you really think about it, because you don't know who's sleeping with who, you don't know who has what, you don't know what they got going on, and not only just from the physical aspect, but from the spiritual aspect. You don't know what kind of ruachs or spirits these people are carrying in them and carrying on in their spirit, on their soul.
Speaking of which, how he just stated how you don't know as a guy dating these type of women what they may have, which brings reference to why cities like Atlanta, both Atlanta and Houston, just as a few examples, have some of the most highest STD rates. And due to how during some kind of Black Spring Break event that just happened in Houston, how so many guys happen to get infected with STIs, due to how so many of us guys always pick some of the worst women to get involved with, the main types of women who are some of the most slutty and some of the most loose. Those are the main types of women we choose. In some cases, not just to have casual fling / hookups with, but also to get in long-term relationships with, that is, only to regret it in the long.
Not only just from the physical aspect, but from the spiritual aspect. You don't know what kind of ruachs or spirits these people are carrying in them and carrying on in their spirit, on their soul, in their flesh, and being transferred over to you. This is why the scripture says, even if a man commits adultery with a whore, he is one with her, because you become one in spirit. This is why when you around somebody, like for example, me and my wife, we've been together for so long, we'll be thinking the same thing at the same time. We'll do the same stuff at the same time, because we are literally one in spirit and one in flesh, because we made a covenant through our flesh. Do you understand that? So when you decide to sleep with a woman that you know is not wife material, a woman that you will not present to your family, or a woman that you will not be proud to present to your mother, and you are gambling and throwing the dice on these consequences just so you could get some TNA, man, don't be baffled. Don't be surprised when you end up with some kind of disease, some kind of sickness, when you end up with a woman that keeps you away from your child, when you end up paying child support and struggling, and you get that 20% or more taken out of your check bi-weekly. I told y'all, I seen them checks when I used to work in property management, having to verify people's pay stubs and their bank accounts, seeing that money come out like clockwork. You don't even see that bread, man. A lot of us think about the physical, how you could get satisfied in that moment. Oh, she look like this, she look good. I'm just trying to hit, whatever the case is. But you do not think about the consequences, and that's a major issue. A lot of men don't think about consequences or don't understand consequences until it's too late. And that's happened to me many times in my past, where I've had to deal with various things in my life, not just in that aspect, but because I didn't understand the fact that there was consequences to my actions, I fell into a lot of pitfalls of trouble that I didn't need to be a part of, that I didn't need to be involved in. And I had to suffer. And I had to learn from that. And it's better to learn from somebody else's mistakes than to keep making the same mistakes. I know, based upon these things, right, I know somebody that I'm cool with, that he had a baby with somebody they didn't really want to have the baby with. Now, that a few years ago, that lady moved to an entirely different state. Barely could see the baby. You see that? Is that how you want to live with your children? Is that the kind of lifestyle you want? You only seeing your children on the weekends, or you only seeing your children, once a month, or whatever the case is. Not only that, you taking care of them, and then you still got to pay child support. That's no way to live. But that's because of a lack of sexual self-control in the mass majority of cases. And now take a second to think and use some common sense here, right? What kind of woman do you think she is if she just letting you run up in them drawers right away? Ain't nothing special about that. And ain't nothing special about you if she just letting you run up in them drawers right away. Just a lack of self-respect on her part as well. Because we're not just going to put it all on the man. It take two to tango. But what kind of woman do you think she is if she just letting you hit off the rip? You think that's going to be a quality wife one day or quality mother? Like, let's use some deductive reasoning here. If she letting you hit off the first time you meet her off an app, or you hit her up in the DMs, or y'all met at a party or at a club, and she letting you hit off the rip, or the first few times seeing her, you think that's a quality woman? Like, let's use some common sense here. Ain't nothing special about that. If she out here half dressed all the time, ain't got no clothes on, what makes you think this is good mother material, good wifey material? Now you stuck with these consequences because you thought it was too late, but because you was thinking with the other head, right? As most men do, because of lack of self-control, a lack of quenching that lust, putting that fire out. Because you lack that, now you suffering with these consequences when you realize it's too late. I've seen, how many brothers I've spoken to, like, man, my baby mama this, my ex this, she that, she this. You didn't know that from before? Like, you didn't think this through from before? Y'all didn't know about this before? Let's be real, like, all these red flags you ain't seen before, but obviously, you put them in the back of the mind because you was just trying to get pleased for that moment. You just found a little good thing that you was trying to please yourself for the moment, and now boom, you got these consequences that you gonna pretend like you didn't know was there. You knew the flags was there. You knew that trouble was right written all over that joint, and now you suffering from these consequences. Brothers, I'm gonna say it again. Stop laying down with these 304s, with these women that you know you would not wife up, a woman that you know you wouldn't present to your family. Stop sleeping with these women that you know you would not be proud to have them as a mother for your children. Peace, fam.
Now, on that note, I want all y'all to do me a favor by feeling free to comment down below, that is. Also, make sure to like this here video, share it, and last but not least, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'm out.